Hey everyone, this is Professor McKinney. I'm currently at Buckingham Palace in London, England. I have a really great video coming up. So yeah, let's dive into it. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great week this week. In this week's chapter, we're going to actually be talking about Chapter 5, which is all about sourcing and recruiting applicants. And so we do have two special guests that are going to be joining us. One is Fletcher French, and Fletcher and I used to work together before I ever worked in HR. And then as time went on, he actually ended up working in HR as well, specifically focusing on staffing and recruiting. Then we also have another special guest with us named Christian Toledano, who's worked with several large companies in the Chattanooga area. And we're going to talk to both of them, both this week and in next week's video. So yeah, I will let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
All right. Fletcher French, talent acquisitions professional for over 5, 6 years now. Um, Before getting into talent acquisitions, I did a lot of different blue collar type jobs. Um, just took me a little bit longer than most to find out their career and what really drives them. But with all those different experiences and some good guidance, discovered that talent acquisitions is what I was good at because I can talk with people and help place jobs, and have been doing it for quite a while now and enjoy every second of it.
So my name is Christian Toledano, based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. I am a talent acquisition partner and have been doing that line of work for the past 8 years. What I like about HR is I like the collaboration that takes place within the work setting. Uh, in my role as a talent acquisition recruiter, I also get the flexibility to work kind of remotely to some extent from anywhere, because I'm doing phone screens and I can do these virtually. So I do like that flexibility. Kind of gives me a little bit some time to kind of spend some time with either the family, if I need to go away for a trip, but I can still do my work. And then I also like um the how I can like share knowledge with other professionals in the field, and I can add that to my repertoire, or they can add that to their repertoire. That's what I really like about it.
Great introductions, guys. That was really, really good. So now with that being said, we will start talking about this week's learning objectives.
What is the difference between sourcing and recruiting?
So when you think about the difference between recruiting and sourcing, there's a few things to keep in mind. So sourcing, it involves identifying and finding potential candidates who may be a good fit for a job. This can be done through various methods, such as online platforms like Indeed, or referrals from friends, family, or colleagues, or even networking and going to events that you sometimes see in like industry groups. Now, recruiting, on the other hand, that focuses on engaging those identified candidates. So you encourage them to apply, you help guide them through the hiring process. So, in short, when you think about it, sourcing is about finding potential candidates, while the recruiting is about interacting with and securing those candidates to actually apply and ultimately accept a job if you offer it.
How is technology being used in the sourcing and recruiting process?
Yeah, so the way that technology is being used for sourcing and recruiting purposes for where I work is a wide variety of different ways. There's especially, technology is just constantly changing these days. So anything from using different types of platforms to capture candidates, to move them through processes, um, all the different ATS systems or applicant tracking systems that there are, the HRIS systems and everything. There's so much that goes on, and they're all advancing and constantly changing. And then even just social media platforms is a big thing, and AI. We're just on the beginning of the frontier of the wild AI time, and so there are a lot of different types of technologies that are coming in, and they're all being used a little bit differently, particularly with recruiting and talent acquisitions. It's been very helpful to be able to come in and uh, find quick different ways that make your job easier and quicker to identify the right candidates for roles, and to be able to open up doors to be able to talk with them. So rather if it's using different systems to find the candidates, but also using different systems to help create the verbiage, or just to help match different requirements that you're looking for. It's pretty exciting stuff.
What is the difference between active, semi-passive, and passive job seekers, and how are the different sources used to reach them?
So when we think about the different types of candidates that are really looking for jobs, you can really put them into three categories. You have active applicants, you have semi-passive applicants, and then you have passive job seekers. And so, when you think about them, the titles kind of explain what they are. But active job seekers are individuals that they're actively looking for new opportunities. And you can reach them through like job boards or company career pages. The best way to think of active job seekers are people that may not actually have a job right now. And so they're applying to, as many jobs as they can, anything that really stands out that they think they may be interested in. Now, the next one is semi-passive job seekers. And those are people that are like casually browsing, but they're not urgently looking, right? So they may still be employed, but they're not as passionate about their work as they want to be, or maybe they're looking for more money. And so they're casually, right, looking for other job opportunities. And the way that you would reach those people is really kind of through like targeted social media or industry events. Now, the last group is the passive job seekers. So those are people that aren't really looking for a job at all, but they may be open to an opportunity if the right situation arises. So those people are typically reached through like networking events, headhunting, which is where a recruiter or someone specifically reaches out to them, or through employee referrals.
What is the recruitment spillover effect?
The recruitment spillover effects refer to a lasting impression that candidates, whether they're hired or not, take from their experience with a company's recruiting process. So a positive experience can actually enhance a company's reputation. And you see this a lot where people say, hey, you should go work for that place. I had a really good experience. Or on the flip side, a negative experience can really hurt an employer's image. And these effects, they can influence like future applicants, customer loyalty, and word of mouth recommendations. And so, when I think about my own personal experience, years ago, I went through the interview process with Amazon for a HR manager position over a region with them. And the recruiting process for me was just absolutely horrible. So even to like this day, if I see a really nice job posted with Amazon, there's no way I'm going to apply because the whole process was just not good. And so, that's a lasting impression that's been left on me as a candidate when I look at an organization. So, it works both ways. You get the positive experiences that help with, the company's reputation and people recommending that their friends and family and colleagues apply to those companies, while a negative one can really hurt an employer's image. And so, I'm sure you all can think of examples yourself where friends have told you, hey, don't work there, don't apply there. And this really can affect a company's sourcing and really give them problems down the road.
What are realistic job previews?
So a realistic job preview, what it does is it provides candidates with an honest and really kind of balanced view of what a job actually looks like, realistically with both like the positives of the job and the challenges. So what this does is it helps set accurate expectations. It also reduces the likelihood that someone would be dissatisfied in the future because they knew exactly what they would be getting into. And ultimately, it can lower turnover in those roles by ensuring that the candidates know exactly what to expect in the role and what they're getting into if they accept the job.
What are some current recruiting and sourcing trends?
Some sourcing and recruiting trends that are taking place right now is, of course, the two-letter word AI. That's like in everybody's vocabulary, I feel like. A lot of the like Indeed and LinkedIn Recruiter, they've embedded some AI features, which is pretty neat. And I really like that feature. With ChatGPT, if I am, so in my role, I may be looking for an industrial engineer in, say, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and they need to have warehousing and manufacturing experience. Well, what I can do on LinkedIn Recruiter is in the search bar, I can say, I need, find me industrial engineers in Chattanooga, Tennessee, who have warehousing or manufacturing in their background. Click enter, and it pulls up anybody who has been working at a manufacturing facility or warehousing in that search string. And then for ChatGPT, sometimes hiring managers kind of give you a kind of vague response on, this is what I'm looking for in this candidate. I really need this, but I, I that would be a preference. It's not a requirement. And so whenever they give me like a tough time when it comes to finding this candidates, I type in chat GPT, create a search string for a industrial engineer that has good leadership or has leadership experience, military experience, warehousing, manufacturing, and they need to have a HR degree. So putting that all together, it like spits it out, and then I can copy and paste it onto LinkedIn Recruiter or Indeed, and that kind of does the work for me. So it saves a little bit of time there.
What is an employer image and employer brand, and how do they influence recruiting?
So an employer image, it's about how the general public views an organization as a place to work at. While the employer brand, it's actually the company's efforts to shape and promote that image. So both of those things, they're similar, but they are different, and they play a critical role in the recruiting process because companies that have a positive image and a strong brand, it can help attract top talent to work there. Whereas a company with like a negative image, it can actually deter people from even applying in the first place. So I hope that you have liked this week's video. As always, make sure to still read the chapter 5 in the textbook. When you think about recruiting and sourcing and just kind of like the whole talent acquisition process, those are really critical to businesses, right? Whether you work in HR, you're a small business owner, or you work in general management or marketing or wherever, and you're a hiring manager one day. So these are really critical things to pay attention to in our class, and it can really make a difference in your organization. The people that you bring in are so important, to success and, how much training you have to do in all the other areas of HR. So I really hope you pay attention, this week and next week to these topics. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I'm looking forward to another video with you all next week.